Hello and welcome everyone. Sorry for starting a tad late. OBS really wanted an update, and I looked at the patch and I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then I noticed it didn't want to update the category and everything. Oh well, it should be alright now, at least. Me looking at the preview window, everything seems to be there as it should. And suddenly my nose started burning. This is abnormal. I did eat fresh chili today because I still need to use it all. I know that most of it will spoil. Especially how I have no idea what the other half is. They are just in a package that just say that it's extra spicy and has this very weird scale, and it doesn't show where in the scale it goes to. So I'm very iffy about it. The other one says it's mild, and it tastes like paprika instead of chili. And a very mild one, that is. Like, not that it would be milder than paprika, but milder in the taste department. There was just a slight hint of capsaicin that could be felt. But always, if you get something of that nature in the eyes or any other sensitive area, it hurts. Now, I don't know how suddenly my nose started burning, since it's been what? At least 3-4 hours before I finished eating. I have put everything away. Everything has been washed. Haven't even touched my nose recently, but I have definitely touched my nose after the fact. So none of this makes any sense. But let's actually jump into the game, because today's episode will have something that doesn't make sense at all either. Well, it does make sense. It does make sense. But what doesn't make sense is that it's something we don't see again. At least I can't recall there being any other circumstances where it comes into question, even though there should have been circumstances where it would have been noted and come into question. Also, I don't get what's going on. My neighbor's dog has been barking and wailing for the past 5 hours in a manner it hasn't done before. Did my neighbor die or something? And I can hear that someone is in there because I hear talking there occasionally, so he just doesn't care that the freaking dog keeps on barking. Oh well. Let's let's actually continue where we left off, which was the trial. We finished the investigation last time, and today we shall finish the trial itself. And I don't know how well the barking goes through the mic. Most likely not that well, since in every test I have done, the piano playing has been louder and I haven't been able to hear it. But then again, I haven't been able to do test trials in the best circumstances. So, I can understand his position completely in a way, because it's so weird how many times Phoenix and Maya just completely ignore the other people in the room and sometimes even talk about them. But what I don't get, why was he speaking in a completely different color? Usually a color change means something else, especially red. And that font face, like, it would have designified me that there's a demon behind you, stalking. Don't ignore me. Satan is forever. Yeah, I just finished Magnus the Red, by the way. So, but yeah, I'm still a bit confused because, since I just now finished Magnus the Red, now I know the origin of Scython, but how did it get around? Because seemingly it was without making that huge of spoilers. The things where it's seen, so as heard, take place after the fact is somewhere completely unrelated. I just assume that they are actually a different entity using the same name. Because they seem to have a complete different MMO in place. And I guess that later on they were combined. Because, well, the type of being it is, it to be combined to be both, but they didn't, used to be. The Empiric is just something so hard to talk about because it's, of course, unexplainable. It's the Imperium. We are material. Don't mix. But yeah. I just love how he just keeps on. Because how many times I find myself going on about something, and then I notice that, people, nobody is taking notice because something random happened, but I'm not allowed to stop for a second because my time is so finite. I just need to keep on going, but I cannot also ignore whatever the hell is going on the other side. Some occasions like this include fires, by the way. And yes, I've been in a situation where there have been a fire in a room and I haven't been allowed to stop my presentation for a second because teachers are crazy. I don't know how Phoenix suddenly knew about this being a race against the clock like that. He shouldn't know at this point. You might, some of you might have some guess why. But actually noticing that, no way. Phoenix wouldn't be able to. An outsider, an empiric being that just knows things which mortals could not. Yeah. Someone actually there, no. And before you ask, no, this has actually nothing to do with it. Let me just memorize that. There we go. I just found like let me compose myself here for a second. Let me adjust the mic, and I actually played like how many of the games I have played before I played this one for the first time ever. For certain I played the fourth because that's where I started. After that I played the first. I think after the first it was a jump to 5. And I think somewhere between I had access to 2 for a while. So I played that. Then 6. It could have even been that I played the Versus before I got to this. So this game was like a way later. Like talking about the original 3 or any form of 3 that I've seen it. So I just find this very random. But where do you even come up to 17 cups? And let's think of them as normal cups, because that's like an actual coffee mug. That's not a coffee cup. So that's larger. But let's think of them just normal cups. 17 is still quite a lot. And in a trial, yeah, I would assume you would need to have an extra bathroom break or 2 with that. Like, even though I drink a lot, even though in the streams that I do when I keep like the normal rhythm of breaks and everything, I usually don't get past 3 or 4 like cups, like soda cups. Yeah, these are more, and it's soda instead of coffee, but that should put things to perspective. Plus, like, I'm half, at least half, maybe even double the size of Godot. So, take to that consideration as well. And I can understand. Usually, the first drink is always the best, and then it just becomes a habit at some point. And you seem to, you know, just start take this thing granted. Just take things to granted. But yeah, all about the coffee. And that was the fastest trial we ever had. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you later. We're done. No. Yeah. It was close, but it would have been more in the nature of judge to not hear the no and just already have the hammer ready, declaring guilty. But it was a close one. And here's the funny thing. On the onset, there is nothing wrong with any of this, and we kind of we know it to have been at least somewhat like that. But what I find concerning is that the judge weren't at all confused or oh, the blackmail letter. The judge should have some more reaction to do that automatically without us going to run probing. But But that's actually a very important part about the defense. Plus, he has already been declared not to be the thief, and the quote-unquote true thief has been is in a trial of their own at the moment. So talking about this now wouldn't change anything. Well, um, like the prosecution is making a huge hassle for there being a motive. Meanwhile, it has never helped the defense that there have been cases with no hint of motive or even anti-motive against, or meaning like there's a huge like a mismatch of interests. So the one being prosecuted actually has more motive to prevent things from happening, but it's Ace Attorney after all. But I remember that this, I actually need to choose the right one with this one, but what was the thing? Because both of them don't look good on the outset, but I don't remember exactly what was the thing we need for right now, so let's just... Yeah, I think this is the way it's framed so much better. It's not like he stole the data, because most likely it's data he just had full access to and could use. So it's more about selling the data, leaking the data. That's the bad thing here. It wouldn't be bad that you take the data into a floppy, because at this point they would still use a floppy, maybe a CD. You know, actually, they did already use a CD in a previous case. So yeah, I think, yeah, they most likely they would, in 90% of the times, use CD at this time period. But old folks would use floppies. But still, it's not that the issue isn't that you got the data under the CD. The issue is that you gave the CD forward. That's where the issue lies. Well, we already made him leak one thing, which is very bad about him to be published and be known by everyone. But what was the oh yes, I know how to actually get forward this force path, because there is the one very big lie here, which I hope people noticed. You say it didn't scare you at all. Meanwhile, I say it scared you a lot, because there's a certain someone who actually makes you scared it to be released. That very brief moment when you could see everyone. Our client seemed like suddenly super tall from what you would think. But then again, if they would have a mask on, it would make sense. But is that a lie or not? They have left it in a very awkward position right now. We know that this is at least the third cop. Maybe I should actually keep count. Hold on. I remember that I found the pen not so long ago. Where is it again? It always somehow gets away out of focus when I'm not looking at it. Where is it? I know I'm using a computer, but there's so many things on. I'd rather not force myself to alt-tab for it. Like, how is this even possible? Even the worst pen option has disappeared from my site. even that is not present at its desired location, let's just say. Where the hell did it go to? I'm 2 pens down all of a sudden. Well, 1 pen and 1 pencil. Damn. Where did it go? I'm not using my paintbrushes. I'm not painting it on the paper. It's hard enough to make sense with with pen alone. Using a brush would make my signature even worse. Well, I'm not finding either, so no, I'm not gonna note it down. But anyone watching, try to keep the count on your own. I most likely won't be able to unless I can just note it down, because I'm expecting to jump into a couple of things during the stream. And if nothing else, when I keep the first break, that's gonna be when I lose all concentration and forget the number, since I'm already out of drink, which is tad alarming and sad. I did take this drink a tad too early though, so it makes sense. The amount of things, important details that Phoenix is hearing for the first time right now. Sixth. Did I miss some? Or was I just ignoring some of the cups that seem to be on like non-necessary things? Because for instance, some responses you can loop so you get the coffee, like there to be extra coffees going about. And canonically, of course, those shouldn't happen. I always wondered like which wrong answers are canonical and which aren't. Like the anime and the live action movie, for example, they miss most of them. But I do love that they always add some in the beginning. Like, right at the beginning, at the first case. At least it happens there. I just wish that they would have some of the blunders throughout. Like, maybe some of the places where people mostly get it wrong, you would have like a loop around thinking. Phoenix saying something wrong, and they're like, no, wait, I have to think about this again. Oh, it actually has to be. Instead of just directly going at it. Like, it's good to be honest, but this is one of the things which you should only bring out like when appropriate and when it's the time, because just flat out going and admitting, yeah, I hit the body, yeah, it doesn't look good for you now, does it? So yeah, the game is flat out telling us at what point to present something, but what would that something be? Let's all just think about it. Let's first get there. Like, I'm just so missing the thing that's present in the Great Ace Attorney games. I think it's been present at some other points before. In the Versus one at least. I'm almost certain it was in the Versus one. But was it present in some of the previous games as well? Like 5 or 6? But anyway, like there is a line like line of circles, and it like shows which statement you are on right now out of how many there is, and that's super helpful, like for multiple things. But yeah, so this is the statement. This is the one we need to present some evidence. Like the game really just flat out told us about doing that. But yeah, so think about what weird circumstances were there. 10 minutes isn't a lot of time. Especially when the guard room wasn't so far away. There are no fingerprints on it, but I remember that updated because we knew from Buds that it was pressed. So... why hasn't it updated then? Or could it be that I can actually present either the buzzer or the record? Because record for certainly shows it, but I'm gonna test it. If I just present the buzzer itself, would that be right? Okay, so I could have presented either one, and it will showcase the record. For fuck's sake. Oh, Phoenix, you just outed your friends in such a bad manner. Oh, it just happens to be that the god was a loser that got punched. Phoenix, no. There's a reason why you don't have that many friends now. If you think clearly, you can't just do it like that, Phoenix. Come on. He's supposed to be your best friend.
Objection!
Okay, so this is at least coffee number 7 or 8. Because out of that previous comment, you couldn't have been certain, was he already having the one? Or was it gonna be the next one? Well, this is a very keen thing. If we can prove it, we are pretty much done with this. So, of course, we can prove it. Although, this, in my opinion, doesn't prove it, but it does make it seem very odd now, doesn't it? There are no prints on it. So everything is piling up for someone who don't know what's going on, really. Well, I never seen the screen go like that. Yeah, that's the obvious thing. But what would be the point? Because he should know that there is a record, and Godot, you should know that as well. What? I'm gonna eternalize this because I don't understand this. What kind of saying is this? Is this some sort of translation thing? Because I can't figure out a saying that this could like go in. Okay. Maybe I can know a Finnish saying, but it doesn't have to do anything with crows. It's about a certain plant, which English name I have no idea. I don't even know how to start searching for that. Because the Finnish name used in the saying isn't the actual like name of the plant, it's name of certain structure of the plant that's only present part of the year. So, I might actually be in the need of that one book, which is all about Finnish sayings and them being literally translated to English. And the book is made in a fashion that there is the saying in Finnish on top, and then there is a picture, like it's been described literally from Finnish, like that, like what's going on in Finnish, and then it's been translated literally word by word to English, and then there's an explanation, like what it means. I love the art in that book. It's just so small of a book and so expensive, but I would love to have it to make something with it. Because I would need it for situations like this. uh, Well, let's think of this with logic. They didn't mean to. But yeah, quite possibly. It could have just been an accident that happened during the murder. But if it would have happened during the murder, you would think that our client wouldn't have gone into the room because the alarm was going off. So you could scratch that off. To find out what it did, there being an emergency button, you would expect there to be an alarm, and out just knowing what something does, you wouldn't go pressing things, especially if you committed a murder. So, of course, logic would dictate that they want to call the security guard there. We have far gone over half of the coffee cups already, and I haven't been on for even an hour yet, and we aren't even halfway of this trial. Godot, you're gonna be forced to eat your words so many times. Like, do you really need to even ask? Like, if the shadows wouldn't make it clear already, like, let's go through all the people we have. Like, us? No. Deceased, our assistant, our younger assistant, a detective, the one who we are trying to get out of the trouble, the one who we got into trouble, the one who we are going to get out of trouble, the one who we are trying to keep out of trouble, the one who we got out of trouble by getting them to admit that they did something wrong, the one that we try to get out of trouble, the one who's opposing us, or the one who's dead. So wait. why it says for Mia that they are dead, but for Kane Bullard it doesn't. His bio says his body was found inside the safe, but we see his age. So why can't we see Mia's age? Only deceased. Oh shit, it would have actually been faster just to... Oh, it has to be. Yeah, this is doing. Let's immortalize that. That out of the get-go is a huge issue. Like automatically having a capital punishment for a capital crime leads into butchery of justice so many times that it's usually so far away from being true justice. But let's not go into that because we have talked about capital punishment so many times. But I find it so funny how they go into this, like which is more severe. Like, of course, out of logic, it would always be that, yeah, stealing is always lesser of a crime than murder. But when you look in actuality, actual real life cases, there have been people who murder multiple people and they only get like a couple years in jail. They might even get out of sooner on parole because of good behavior and because they get fan mail and everything. But then there is someone who in the same county, because almost every like case of law that's documented is from the US, because there the numbers are so goddamn high. There is so many subjects to sue and document. But anyway, the same county in the same year, someone misplaced a point in their taxes, so they actually declared 10 times less than they had. They got jailed for life with no parole. Yeah, which is more which is more severe to you? Oh wow, it's been a while. It's been a while. I had one of these bots sending a private message earlier. Was it this week? I think it might have been this week. So where is my phone? Because I heard it go ding ding ding, but that's weird. It sounded like it was below, but it's next to me. But anyway, let's actually get rid of this. It will only take a second. This bot actually uses a funny avatar. Oh well, it's sad. Why can't I just have the usual? Like, there we go. At the least it's gone, but why can't I have the normal command of rip on that? There we go. I don't know why the Twitch commands weren't in the normal place. Yeah, this is not the usual one you use to report. Could it be that the bot deleted their account already? Huh. That could be. Well, anyway, so damn it, I need to get the command thing out. I shouldn't have done this inside OBS because that window is horrible to try to do anything in. But it's gone. There is no trace of that bot ever again. I just find it funny how they changed the message. Like, it's a completely different site than that they used before, and the message itself is a tad different than what it used to be. And it's not about just like they added multiple things which it's about even, but you can't gain anything from buying those, you know. It's pointless. But anyway, so money always goes in front of actual harm, which is very, very sad, but that's just how law works. And the way that human life is supposed to be a million. So I find it funny how cases where the thievery is under that, it's still counted as more many times. Like way more times it's counted as more. So well, let's continue anyway. So I find this recess to be very badly mismanaged, because if the verdict is about to be laid down before it, you would think it would be laid down during it. So shouldn't they send the message during the recess and have the recess for making sure that the admins understand when it's over? It could just be the wording of it, but that's how it should go, you know? The face on this judge. Like, I can understand it's very abnormal for someone to intrude, but that fucking look. Also, no reaction when the defendant says, "Welcome to my courtroom." It's like he admitting that all of this was just his tool, you know? But yeah. So, I didn't want to spoil it. But yeah, I think like they worded it badly in the way that like Admi will be like gotten for the stand like after the recess, when the recess was for getting him, which was the sensible thing. But yeah, this is the save point, so let us save. There we go. And we are already getting into the second part of the trial. I assumed this to take a tad longer, even though I had tangents of the usual length. Even a, well, longer length because of that bot. So I think this is a good time for me to take a break. It's gonna be a tad of an extended break, since I need to fix up something to drink. As I have also found out that for some weird reason, the fridge is not cooling to drink as much as it should be. So maybe like there is a dial that determines the temperature. Maybe it has gotten loose and is on the lower end. Let me check the weather. The weather is only 0. So it's not about that. It has been able to cool down drinks well enough, even during the summer. But at one point I noticed it was way too high. And that's when it starts to, like, then it cools things as it should, but it starts to make too much of noise. So that's why I've been told to keep it down by the owner of this apartment. When either one of my parents are here, they always bump it up, and they don't even seem to notice that it's making a lot of noise. But well, anyway, like I said, let's take that break. So I'll require a couple minutes.
It was during the Horus Heresy that the influence of chaos first drove Space Marine against Space Marine. Cronus witnessed some of this terrible fighting, and the heretics of those ancient times left behind them terrible artifacts. In the desolate Ares Badlands stood one such talisman, an ancient icon of the blood god Khorne. With war sweeping Cronus once more, a demon within the icon awoke. It fed on the souls of those slain in combat, and promised gifts to whoever would slake its thirst for blood. Even the warriors of the Imperium ended up feeding the fiend as they fought across the Badlands to prevent others from claiming this prize. The faithful tried to ignore the whispers the demons slipped into their minds, but every death still fed its dark appetite. In the end, whoever controlled the Ares Badlands would gain a measure of the demon's fury, allowing them to launch attack after attack against their enemies.
Okay, I have returned. I sorted out a couple of things while I was getting that drink. I didn't make sure about the dial yet, but I must look into it a tad more outside of the stream because most likely it's gonna take longer than I want to during a stream, so let's leave it at that. Expect I might need to take one more break at least during the stream, even though Like, even if the stream would be on the lighter end, because a thing just came up which I might need to solve during the stream, sadly. It's not a certainty yet, but we'll see. Also, the noises from my neighbor are very unhealthy again. The amount of crying that I hear from there is far too frequent. And unfortunately, I'm in a position where I cannot do anything to help. But let's just say it's very, very unhealthy to be hearing it happening so frequently. And knowing how laws about things which I might have inclination that might be happening makes it so I'm completely powerless to do anything. And in the matter of fact, if I would try, I could be trialed for trying to help, because quote unquote intruding on one's privacy. No. If I constantly have to be in the vicinity of that, and that's hearable throughout the building, that's not the case. It's quite the opposite. Oh well, let's continue. But what's so weird about that? It's not the first time, Phoenix. Well, Goran, you sound a lot like the American justice system. So, at the minimum, this coffee cup is number 11. At the minimum, so Godot is starting to run out of cups, you know. Again, I'm not entirely certain of the number, but I do know what's gonna happen. And I still find his coffee numbers concerning and weird. I don't accept that answer. Because bag of holding allows you to carry in I don't exactly remember the amounts, but it allows you to carry a lot of stuff. But the stuff itself, it isn't always just magically pristine condition and holding. So I don't think you can carry around just pre-made coffee cups in a bag of holding and just them automatically be fine. It's not like the freaking Hermione's bag in Harry Potter, where it's like an actual warehouse. Although, I think you could, in essence, if you would make a structure that would hold the coffee cups and have that inside the bag of holding, it could work. But then again, that requires quite engineering. But what we all know is that you should never have a portable hole anywhere near that thing. That's something we all know. Well, okay. Coffee places can be very tiny. It could just be a cart. So I can accept that. But it cannot be manned by anyone because the bag of holding rules clearly state that it only contains air for such a short period of time, so no living being can be there making the coffee. Now you're mixing magic and science, Goran. Now we are taking things far too long. The Forge was never a faction for just that occasion. Like I said, the Forge was never canonically a faction. Although, in essence, it doesn't make sense why people were so mad about that. Because in All Might and Magics, you always got to a point where you're all about the technology. Technology is the past, in a way, before everyone nuked themselves. So, I really don't get why people were so mad about Forge. I can understand, it doesn't seem fitting, because they covered up all the technology in the Heroes. But they could have had it in a way where Forge would still be the technological thing it is, but be hidden in the same way like Devils are. Like, you look at Wizard Tower and Inferno, both factions have technology, but it's hidden in a magical window, I just say. Like, you can try, but it's not about where the coffee comes from right now, Goran. I'm talking about the numbers, because it's an important thing. You missed the beginning. Gobot mentioned that he only drinks 17 cups in a trial. But this tangent has been going on long enough, so... Well, of course. But like the most simplest thing, which would be like the very first thing, which I would say when this picture was presented in the court for the first time. Is that timestamp reliable? Can it be verified? Because, especially back then, many like data systems were hackable or exploitable in an easy manner because there weren't like a unified time thing. Even nowadays, sometimes time factors can cause issues because certain devices have time set up to be a tad different from one another. But then there were like nothing unifying. Internet was such a wild west at that point, a very very new thing. So you couldn't just have a central clock. So usually every system had their own central clock, and a device would have their own clock. And in many occasions, the central system would just accept any time given by another device for data. So there were people like who cheated the systems in many ways, that they just gave it a thing that was from the future or from the past, whatever they needed to get in. For example, one of the funniest ways I found that people abused this was that they had a ticket for a concert hall, for example. There were like people were like thinking that they are very futuristic. We won't have people in these gates. We'll just have this computer, and people will just log in with their card to get wherever. Because that's definitely the future. Automated logins, passings of gate. But especially back then, they didn't realize that, they shouldn't allow the people to have access to their systems. So they had an old ticket. They wanted to get in. They changed the system time to be somewhere in the past when their ticket was still valid. They used the ticket, gone inside, changed the clock back, so now it looked like that they logged in with a valid ticket. Sometimes even when there have been like corporations with multiple computers, for instance, and they had accounts, and certain account was given admin privileges at certain time, for example, then that person would get fired. So the admin privileges was removed. But some of those systems worked in a way that they need to reference a clock at like what status is that account in. Like no account can be created or deleted. There will always be, let's say first user is like John Smith. So that's account 000. So John Smith receives account 000. Their status is admin. This happens at 1st of July, for example. Then on 6th of July, John Smith got fired. So their account 000 gets set to be like their access to everything is revoked. What John Smith will do, they will just change their system setting to show that it's the 2nd of July, and they keep they keep their access. Exploits like that were such a commonplace. I even use things like that occasionally for things. I remember some sites, for example, having like a time log that they had a video that will only be unlocked at a certain date, but I would not have internet at that point, so I changed the system time, went to the site, and it just accepted the system's time. It didn't care about the time that was on the site itself. Yeah, things were wild. At me, you cannot use that line because that line is already reserved for Francesca. She's all about calling fools for their foolishness. So you can't go on like that. That catchphrase is already taken. Invent a new one.
Objection!
Well, to be honest, it's not that far-fetched to think so. There could have easily been someone helping him. That would be an easy solution for this now, wouldn't it? But well, we are gonna just give it up.
Objection!
But why would he care? Even if everything went his way, why would he have cared about that image existing? It wouldn't have led him closer to being revealed or further. So I find this all just a tad odd, you know. What do you mean it's impossible? It's super easy to do. Even Photoshop used to be a thing. Like, the actual Photoshop was a thing at that point already. And even before that, there was shell editing. Because this went directly to the computer, that wasn't a thing. This was a purely digital image. But even before there were graphical interfaces for image editing, people found a way to edit the pictures in a text format. Like, I seen people having a very pixelated digital image, and then them just editing at pixel at a time by just changing values. Like, it looked like an Excel sheet that just had a few digits here and there, and those digits weren't even directly color codes. They were like shadings of like black and white, and just changing the values of those, you could edit pixel at a time, or like, well, nearly pixel at a time, because they were quite huge chunks, so couple pixels. I seen people do that. I know I could do that. I in essence have done a similar thing, but in a tad more modern way. I have just taken the raw data of an image and started manipulating it randomly to get lovely effects to images. It's funny to corrupt images that way. You get way better results than doing it manually, because if you like in actual Photoshop, because when you do it in Photoshop, it doesn't look real. But when you do it randomly in the code, it looks real. I should try if I can find some of those images, or just recreate some of them maybe, so I can showcase what I mean. The ones I did, I have no copyright to those images, so maybe I should redo them into an image I have a copyright to, so I could actually like publish them. Well, the Phoenix is correct in a way. Those are like the options we know so far. Like, we only know that it can be either like the one in the image is wrong, or the image itself is wrong. But we need to untangle this somehow. And this is the first, second, third. I think now, since I have pressed everything, I should be able to do a thing here which I wasn't able to do before. And this is the annoying thing with some Ace Attorney games, is where like you cannot just get everything done in the first go. You actually need to, like, in the order they are in, you need to go back and forth a bit. Those are the things that stumped players, and I can understand why some don't like it. Because in many times you already are so many steps ahead of the situation. But from everything I know, Ace Attorney, all of the games, and I do mean all of them, do it so much better than the only real competition in the field, which is Danganronpa. Because in Danganronpa, you always are so many steps ahead before there is just a random switch and something completely random which nobody could ever know happens, but that's just flat out told to you anyway. But the parts that you know, you're already so much ahead and you need to like backwardly prove it in a way that it usually doesn't make sense and it's super annoyingly slow. And then there's the action sequences. Like, those action things are the reason why I haven't played the games myself yet. Also the fact that I spoiled everything because I saw the anime first. But then again, if I didn't, I would have zero interest in the series whatsoever. So yeah. This is something which I bet most wouldn't remember. Because like it's about timing of things. There is something different here than what wasn't. Like, something is missing, which should have been here from how we know things. And the area is right here. So I hope I can just put it in the middle. And that's gonna be good enough. Yes, it was good enough. If this would actually, since we are talking about Danganronpa, if this would be Danganronpa, that would be blood. Because for some reason, it's okay to just have pink blotches everywhere. Just completely have gory scenes, but make the blood pink. So it's okay, kids can play this now. Why? Why is that the thing? It's like that one game where it was considered to be okay to be played in the US, but for European market they were like, no, this is sick. Instead of you running over pedestrians, they are zombies now, their blood is green. Now it's fine. Doesn't matter that there are mad people driving. Like, okay, driving over zombies, that's what many would consider to be morally okay. But the people behind the seat wouldn't still be okay, because they were completely crazy and they didn't change that. But yeah, we know that there should have been something on front of the paint. I gave you guys enough time. Like, I can understand Godot being rude about this, especially since we are talking about a minor historical character of a certain area, but that still stings to describe such a majestic golden statue as old bag. Especially when we have a character named Old Bag who's not deserving any of the, honor and goodwill that's supposed to be shown to elderly folk. So it makes this comparison especially atrocious to me. Well, we don't have a lot of options. Who could have moved it? Remember, it's all about the night of the crime. So, who must have been there? There's only so few options. So I'm just gonna directly jump to the case. Well, I have given way too many hints what's wrong about this before. Like, since we have already gone through, the statue and everything. And we are talking about the actual lie, so... yeah, the general area is enough. Yeah. This sounds logical now, doesn't it? And it's something that was completely ignored when we were trying about the thievery itself. So it's only natural that it comes to haunt us later on. Well, haunt him later on. He's lying. He has gone way past 11 already. So I guess some of the cups weren't actually counted. Because from the evidence we are given, there have been cup changes between times we see Godot. So I guess suddenly we are going back because those didn't count. Yeah, Godot is just bullshitting his way through coffee. So yeah, the important thing was stated twice there. I'm that surprised that like they included the latter one. Well, the former one, because the latter one would happen if you go the entire circle, which would in most likelihood happen the most. So yeah. I think I remember what I need to present, but I wonder which one under I needed to present it with. Or could this be a multiple choice as well? Well, let's go with the obvious one that mentions the darn thing. So... You knew it was extremely variable. Speckled urn, says the damn thing. So how was you supposed to know that? So note from the previous statement that's since we had to go backwards, that's minimum the coffee cup number 12. He's going through the cups fast. Why? Like, it's never a thing for defense. It's never okay for defense, like someone to be declared innocent because they lack motive. But of course, when the defense is trying to prosecute someone else, no, you need a clear motive for absolutely everything, or nothing's gonna happen. Like, anyone can invent meanings for things like this, but why to say Old Norse? Because that's not even a thing. There is an older version of the Nordic language, but it wasn't in any form called Old Norse. Also, the formation of the word there is very non-Nordic. So, yeah. Well, what do we always do in these circumstances? Bullshit. Well, Atme is trying to build up a, well, case that he has 0 interactions with the murder victim. But here's the thing. A very important thing presented in here. Yeah, this one. How does he know all of this? Well, we need to show what's contradicting the letter itself. So let's showcase. Wait. I could swear that this was the point where I did that. I could almost swear it. So no, wait. Oh, I was skipping a thing. Of course, I'm stupid. It's not the profile I present yet. So blah blah blah. Oh, I have to do the entire thing again. No, not that. Wrong button. Fuck. And not only I get penalized, I have to go through this entire thing over again. Okay, we present. And we present the letter again. Then blah 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 blah. Because I was just skipping lines because I knew that the profile is a thing I need to showcase, but of course it doesn't make any sense here. Because we need to show the evidence first. And the evidence, of course, is the clipping. And yeah, this is why I was just too much in the thought that I was skipping. Because I completely forgot. Oh yeah, of course, I need to prove first that what's the issue here. And now I can actually showcase who's been blackmailed. Because the red jewel has been mentioned before, and I, in error, made this before, so... Well, we can just go by this in complete logic again. He thinks he's an ace detective. He wants everyone else to think that... Oh, that's the mic. Everyone else to think that he's ace detective, so of course he doesn't want to keep that hidden. Mask the mask. Well, he's trying to prove to us at this point that that actually is him, so he can get away with the murder, so that wouldn't make any sense. It would make sense in the letter itself, but if that would be that would need to be true in order to make sense, and if it is the truth, then we're in deep trouble. So what that leaves, that he's being blackmailed about being a blackmailer.
Objection!
if you guys have been keeping count, Godot is really getting close of running out of cups. Well, now here's the thing. How did he? There's only the obvious thing, which we know of, which sadly is the right answer. It was just happenstance. I want to see someone trying to get through all of that in voice acting. I can like hear it inside my head, but actually going through that live, no, that's horrid. And unless it's natural, you cannot go through it. So you would need to rephrase things. If anyone breaks down to that point, you already know what's going on. So yeah.
Objection!
Well, it all really comes down to this. If we can't prove this, where can we go? It all hinges on this. The judge, out of its normal character, seemed to be like almost ready to hammer in that, yep, we're done here. That proves it. But then this happened. So of course we can't prove it. Yeah, this is one of those very rare occasions where we can't do it.
Objection!
And here we go. I told you guys it will come into effect. It was late. I knew it's late, but here it is, as expected. That's not true. It's not in all courts, because it has been proven to be a very foolish thing to allow just one court to have it forever. And in many places there have been systems to put forth that it will not just lay on a single judgment, especially when someone could be jailed for life or killed. Unfortunately, in the places where people can receive a capital punishment, usually this takes in effect, and it's supposed to be a thing for defense, but I've seen it used for prosecution far more often. As in, no, it cannot be this person because we have already declared them innocent of this. And it's the same thing right here. So yeah. But it's, like I said, it's not a thing everywhere. For instance, here. Let's take an example. I could be trialed for a murder. Then I could appeal that to a higher court, that there had been a justice murder here, I want true justice. It could be accepted and go into a higher court, where it will be, well, retrialed. I could be declared guilty again. I could go to the highest court and declare there have been a justice murder. Like Supreme Court. I think Supreme Court is the way to translate that, even though we have a very weird name, which is very much against how this country is supposed to work for that, but that's just what it is. And over there, they could declare me innocent. But it never really makes sense when cases are allowed to go to like higher courts. Like, what are the bases when it's allowed to be retrialed there and when it's not? Especially the highest one. There have even been cases where it's been like almost to full certainty clear how the thing is, that like the trial, like it's been a mistrial, that it should have been stated the complete opposite. Because remember, not everything is always guilty or innocent. There are like shades to it. For example, a case where it was clearly a accident that happened to no human intervention. It was brought, like it was still declared that there was a human interaction and that caused a death. And it was stated to be a fault because they weren't vigilant enough and let it happen. It was taken to a higher court where it says, yeah, you're still at fault, but we declare that you didn't plan this, so we are gonna, of course, lessen your degree. But we're still talking about not a murder, but a death in your name to the negligence. And it was never accepted to the highest court, even though a party, because I don't remember the exact, it was some sort of device that, or a structure that malfunctioned. Something, in the end, something heavy fell on someone else. And even like the maker of that declared that, yep, in our research we have found out that this was something that could not have been seen before. We are gonna pay reprimands. The highest court, the Supreme Court, never took the case in and retrialed it. And to this day, people don't really understand why. Because at that point, it was a completely third party, completely admitting that, yeah, we know what happened. The person trialed was innocent. We are already paying for mistake, which is in essence our fault. Not design, but still our fault. But yeah, the word of law is always weird. Again, we have a sudden objection too late. It was already declared to be over, and the objection only happened after it. But yep, Maya channeled Mia. It's been a while, yes, but it happened. So yeah, Godot seemed to have a weird shift in nature there now, didn't he? There is actually a good reason for that, but that would spoil everything, so I won't be talking more about that. Just something for you guys to think about. Have you guys kept count? Have we got an extra or missing cups here? Tell it to me in the comments or somewhere. Chat, Discord, somewhere. So, since this is a very, very vital point, I think, like, as far as I remember, I might even be penalized for trying to press anything that's wrong. So maybe I should, just in case, so we get to see some more. Let's make a save. So let's save over this one because that's where we are, and see how it goes. Because I remember that this sort of thing should have already happened throughout the series more than it has. So maybe this was one of those occasions. So, boom.
Objection.
Isn't it a good thing I made that save? Isn't it so good that I made that save? Because I remembered, right? This actually ends things early if you press something you aren't supposed to. So, there we go. And yeah, here, like, this is what always confused me. They mention higher court here, but still a double jeopardy is a thing, which I find to be such a weird thing in a way that if you lose, it will end up higher, but if you win, it won't. So, I don't really get it. How can you have both? Well, like I said, it's a very good thing I made that save, because we would have to read through everything. So there is only one thing we need to press, and that's the correct one. So this is first, second, third. Was this the one? Because I don't want to be forced to loading millions of times. So I think this was the key thing. It had to be this one. Because I do remember it to be about the prince. Well, if I got it wrong, I can just immediately press load. But I think this was the thing.
Objection.
Did I get it wrong? No. It's the same line. That's funny. It's actually the same line. I didn't know. Because I don't remember. Have I ever pressed wrong on this or not? Because it was such a long time ago since I have completed this trial. So yeah, in a wacky twist of fate, we got the guilty party to admit by accident it wasn't presenting vital evidence, it was finding a contradiction.
Objection. Objection.
He's doing the exact same opening as yesterday, but this time he gathered so much energy for it that it shook the entire building. Let's take that to the eternalized zone. Yeah. The rule of double jeopardy is absolute. I find that very concerning, but that seems to be the case. He gets away with the thievery because he's been declared innocent of the thievery. Funny enough that he was declared innocent of a single thievery, but now for some reason that double jeopardy is counted for all of them. And funny enough, there have been so many cases like this in real life where that has happened. There was one fake decree where someone was declared innocent, but when in reality they have been doing the same thing in other occasions, but now they're scotch-free. Yeah, we declared our client innocent twice in the same chapter. Like, it's funny that if you start to go and look at the listings of people being prosecuted for and we defend, our current client actually gets quite high because in a single episode he was trialed twice. And we cleared him on both times. But then there are those couple people we seem to have constantly, and they've been trialed for murder, which they didn't commit. Like, even though it's a meme how many times Maya is being trialed for, that doesn't happen that many times. She's just in the trouble so many times, but she's not like the prime suspect that many times. But oh well, we will get to things with Maya later on. And this is funny. Because the only only thing we have for this is to just show a thing that's broken and put together again. So we're gonna show the urn. Yeah, here's the important thing everyone needs to take notice of as well. Because if she would legitimately hate all criminals, she would hate herself because she admits that she's constantly speeding. She should have noticed that the husband was there as well, and if the husband isn't reacting badly, that should mean that it's nothing that bad. But she's super easy to led astray, so... Okay, it's a good example because it's put together way better now than when it was last put together. But if that wouldn't have happened, things would be far better. And yeah, we are done with case number 2, and I got an achievement, the stolen turnabout. So, we see the image for episode 3, which is, let's just say, immediately very fan servicey looking. And that's where we shall continue next time. Let's just put the save here. And... nope, you ain't seeing that. Boom, game is gone. And yeah, I would like to thank everyone so much for joining today. hopefully you're gonna join me next time, which is gonna be on Monday. I will not yet announce because I need to do more testing. I need to make sure that I can get the title to run, so I know what will be my title. If I don't get the title I want there to run, expect it to be a filler episode. And Tuesday will be continuation with the Dwarven campaign in Heroes 5 Hammers of Fate, regardless. And next Thursday, I'm gonna continue with episode 3 of Trials and Tribulations. So, once again, thanks for everyone coming. Hope I see you next time. Bye for now.